Hey, it's So from So's Real Thoughts. So this is a new segment that I'm doing in the month of September, premiering on every Wednesday, called Love It or Hate It, where Kristen and I discuss the movies that we love or hate. This is Kristen Sales.
Hi.
Today we're going to be discussing Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners, and I loved it.
And I hated it.
So let's just jump right in.
Yeah. Okay, so this movie came out last year, and I saw it. I didn't see it when it was first released. I saw it a couple months later at like a dollar theater. But people have been saying it was really good, and it didn't really like catch my attention or anything like that, even though people were saying like, oh, the performances are really good. So I finally decided to see it. And I'm glad I only like paid $2 for it, because I thought it was really
You think that other people's opinion affected like your...
No, because it wasn't being like super overhyped. It was just like a movie that people seemed to like put in high esteem.
Oh, okay.
And say like it might have been like one of the better movies of the year. So it wasn't like, you know, sometimes like movies really get overhyped, like Guardians of the Galaxy or like Boyhood or something like that, where it's like the praise is unanimous. It wasn't necessarily unanimous. It was just like some people were like, this is something you should see. And I know, obviously, because the actors in it were really good, and Roger Deakins' photography, but I wasn't familiar with, is it Villeneuve? His previous movie, Incendiaries. I hadn't seen that. So I went in, like, not knowing about him as a director. And I just thought that it really sort of suffered from, a really contrived sort of screenplay. Where it kind of reminded me on the surface of oh gosh, what is the David Fincher movie? Zodiac. Oh yeah, Zodiac, just because it was like Jake Gyllenhaal investigating things like in like 2.5 hours, and it's like really dark. So, and that in my mind, I kind of had that going, even though those are really different movies, and that movie is like really good. But to me, like, this movie was just like really full of like empty symbolism and sort of like red herrings and things that didn't pan out. But my main problem with it was that everything was played like really straight and like really seriously and dark, but a lot of it is like really ridiculous. Like it's just like it's just like ridiculous. Like the biggest example, I guess, would be like the scene where he finds the snakes.
Oh, okay,
in the suitcase and stuff. I was just laughing my head off, like, what is this? But there was no, like, the movie didn't have any sense of humor about it. And Jake Gyllenhaal's character is so, like, tortured and, like, serious. And I was just, like, to me, it came off as, it like, rang false, and it, in turn, like, turned out to be, like, sort of, like, campy and funny to me, you know?
Oh, okay. I mean, I for myself, I've known about the director, and I did, like, my director series on him, check that out. And because I've seen all his work, and then I saw Prisoners, I could appreciate his work, even though I don't think it's his strongest piece of thing that he's done compared to his other films. But I guess what I really appreciated it was almost like Big Bad Wolves, where it's so ambiguous, and it like plays with your expectations of what is actually real or not. Did Paul Dano kidnap the girls or not? And that, I think that it keeps you guessing till the very end, and it has such a strong moral ambiguity. It really pushes you to really question yourself and the character, and I don't know, I guess for me there was a lot of contemplation, and I think I can see why Jake Gyllenhaal would be so like laughable, but even his tics, I liked that little quirk in him, because it seemed like he got so into his character that thinking of that was necessary to his character. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I understand it, and obviously he made like pretty bold choice with you know having his characters have like literal physical tics. Yeah, it's just like really, it like went just that one place or a couple steps overboard for me, where it it seemed really affected and like not authentic.
Yeah. And
I don't know, it was just sort of like so unrelentingly dark, but like I don't usually mind that. It just seemed like without a purpose. And it's funny that you say like you bring up Big Bad Wolves, because that movie is really dark too, but there's a lot of humor in that movie.
Yeah.
And to me those characters seem like more authentically human, like they seem like real people.
Really?
Whereas yeah, they do, because I feel like, well, with that humor aspect of it, like I could see somebody making those mistakes, or like or having that sort of weird sense of humor about a very serious issue. Whereas in Prisoners, all of the characters seemed like very writerly, like they just seemed like sort of like screenwriter archetypes. Like, let's give Hugh Jackman like he's like religious. You know what I mean? That symbolism or whatever seemed like really hackneyed to me, because it didn't. They just sort of like referenced it in terms of like symbols and him, you know, like with a cross. But it didn't, like his behavior didn't seem like he was a guy that was actually like involved in a religious community, or it just seemed like something that they had written like, oh, that's gonna make it like morally ambiguous, or it's gonna make it like, you know, it just seemed like, oh, like I could see sort of I don't like it when I can sort of see the bones of a screenplay, or I can sort of see like when somebody's like, oh, this will make a good character trait. Like I don't like that. Like I want to be like more immersed in the movie and feel some like an authenticity to it. And to this, it seems just sort of like ticking off boxes of like, okay, this is the part where we throw you off from the scent, and this is the part where we make you feel bad about judging the character in the beginning. And,
I don't think they. To me, they seem so authentic in the way they live their lives and how they just are as regular people. If their daughter was kidnapped, what they would do, and it kind of takes you step by step through the process, the emotional journey, and like I feel like everything Hugh Jackman did, I would have done exactly the same. But like I would never know till I'm in that situation. But I think the movie shows you what it would feel like and the extent I would go to find things out.
To find things out. And the one thing that really bothered me, which is maybe a minor note, but I just feel like when a movie that is this long and spends a lot of time developing certain characters and giving certain actors showcases, and then you cast Maria Bello and Viola Davis, two of our best actresses, and give them next to nothing to do. That to me is a cardinal sin of a movie, and that like really brings it down in my estimation, because Maria Bello's character sort of had a character arc, but it was like her just like being depressed and sleeping. And then I don't remember Viola Davis like having anything really to do other than like sitting next to her husband and like being sad a little bit. Like to me, it's just like, I don't know, but why cast actors of that caliber if you're not going to give them anything to do?
It's true. I know he for his American debut film, he like, these are really, really big players. And I can understand that. I think what I appreciated was, no matter how small their role was, they were just as effective. Like, I think there's this one scene where Viola Davis kind of turns to Terrence Howard and just kind of lets him do. And
she just like silently like gives him permission to do what he's gonna do.
What she won, she was in doubt for like 10 minutes, and she was so freaking
That's
amazing.
true, but I mean, like, to me, her impact in Prisoners was nothing compared to her impact
of
Doubt.
course.
Like, I feel like that is a good example of casting someone in a really small role, but then like writing the shit out of it and just having it like bring down the house and then like leave you so emotionally. Whereas, I mean, apples and oranges, but again, it's just like, and to me, like, even knowing that she has the power to affect a movie in such a small screen time, like she did in Doubt, just makes me wanted her to do more in Prisoners, you know,
because
that's
true.
If there was any scene that was written for her to, you know, bring some sort of like emotional something to that movie, like it could have been the highlight of the movie, but there just wasn't anything, you know?
I guess I wouldn't have known, because if they did cast someone with the less star power, I don't know, it probably would have been just as effective, but because they're so in line with all the other actors caliber, I felt like it brought that much more significance. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, and then also, like, the other reading that I was sort of alluding to with, like, the screenplay is very heavily in favor of, like, the Hugh Jackman character and the Jake Gyllenhaal character. So it sort of feels like a movie that maybe started out focusing more on those two families, and then sort of took another direction where they decided to make, like, the Jackman and Gyllenhaal, like, sort of up against each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like... It's kind of like there's another story to be told, sort of in the family aspect of it, because it starts out like maybe you think that they're going to be more involved in it, but then it really kind of like goes with those two character arcs, which I don't know. It just
I can understand.
It made me want to see more of those other people that I had been introduced to, but weren't getting.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
and also the casting mistake that I think this movie made is casting the actor that played the...
Dano?
No, the snake guy.
Oh, okay.
Because he is in one of the most famous movies of the past couple years, The Dark Knight. He plays the guy that is when Joker is in the police parade or whatever, he plays like the Joker's like minion or whatever that Batman captures and tortures. And it's like when you cast that guy, it's like, oh, I immediately know what this role is. You know, like he's being cast because he played like a psycho really well in Dark Knight.
I guess he wasn't so like distinctly. I don't remember him too well.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've seen that movie too many times.
I think he does. I think I could tell that he looks evil.
Yeah, he looks like a psycho.
Gives off that impact, but I think because it's so biased to that it makes you automatically assume, and then from there they kind of play with your expectations and kind of like try to flip things around.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean,
I know I made some people angry when I put this on my like least favorite.
No.
Well, on my blog I did, because I don't have to see every movie that's released. So when I do, I usually like pick and choose and see the things that I think I'll like. So if something I think I like that a lot of other people like, and I dislike it as much as I did this, and I put it on my worst of list, people were like, "How dare you? This movie's so well made. It's like the best movie of the year." I'm like, "Oh, well, okay, no, I don't think so." But
well, any last thoughts? Let's wrap this up.
No, but I'm excited to talk about Enemy later, because...
Oh my god, we will have to do another video for that.
I have even stronger feelings about that
damn,
movie, so.
Okay. Well, anyways, be sure to check out our next video, which is showing next Wednesday, and definitely be sure to check out Kristen's blog.
salesonfilm.tumblr.com and @salesonfilm on Twitter.
Yes, so follow her on everything, and we will see you guys later. Bye.